I now invite the Honorable Member of the Gambia East. The Honorable Member for Gambia West.
Thank you, Speaker. I take this opportunity to thank the President, the Vice President, and the Ministers present here. First of all, I want to deliberate on points that I consider as credit by the government, and then also look at the other end. First of all, on the side of finance, I have heard a lot from my colleagues on corruption. But in the contrary also, I can say for fighting corruptions, citing the public finance management and the public financial management strategy 2021-2025 that are put in order so as to regulate financial matters, and also the IFMIS system, also looking at the one account system of the public resources or the finance system in the Gambia. Now we have single treasury account. These are all geared towards mitigating, we cannot say zero, but at least mitigate corruption in the system. And these are various strategies and movements by this present government to see that we mitigate corruption in the system. Another bright example is taking the local governments, authorities, to be using the IFMIS system. So we all know the local governments, how they were in the previous. But with this present government, they work in to see that the local government will be using the IFMIS system. In all these places to see that corruptions are mitigated in the current government. When we come to foreign affairs, Honorable Speaker, I will also give a credit on to peace and stability in the Gambia that is being recognized by the international world, and that the UN Secretary General yearly review of peace and of the Peace Building Commission has set Gambia as a role model. So this is a laudable effort from the government and the people of the Gambia. And this peace and stability in the Gambia is one of the others of the Gambia that people should not joke with, or is one of the attributes of the Gambia that we should not joke with, and we should be proud of, and we should maintain. It's a collective responsibility to see this peace and stability is maintained. With this peace and stability, we can now see that the level of human rights in the Gambia, the level of human rights through this peace and stability and the new democracy that this present-day government is nurturing cannot be underestimated. These are all part of developments from this government, and development does not only come through physical or financial activities, but all these human rights issues and the nurturing of this democracy are all part of the developments that are registered by this present-day government. And I urge all Gambians to be respectful of this young democracy and to be tolerant to each other, because we craft our leaders and we make our leaders to be in the manner or react such a way that would not at the end of the day do well for for our betterment of the Gambia. For nowadays, you hear what people say in corners. The president doesn't do this, he does not react, he does not do this, he does not do that. But let us please be so tolerant and allow due course to be taking its place. The president is just nurturing this young democracy, and he does not want to interfere, and he wants due course to take its place. So in that case, the first time ever in history, the Gambia has a seat on the United Nations Human Rights for a 3-year term beginning January 2022. It's a laudable achievement by this government, and I myself, from my end, this is a big development. So like I said, development is not only physical appearance or financial activities. Speaker, when it comes to agriculture, we are made to know that there are 8 major projects that are undergoing at a tune of $294.13 US. It's a laudable support, laudable achievement. But our concern is the end result of these projects. Whether these projects also will end up being like other projects that we inherited. Because my colleagues mentioned it here, they went on an oversight visit, but the results of other projects were not motivated, we are not encouraging, they were not least happy with it. So we are calling on the minister to please take charge, take responsibility, so that these projects will change people's life at the end of the day. So, and he is also telling us that there are a lot of hectares of rice, like almost 6,000 hectares of rice that are being cultivated. It's a good initiative if it is rightly taken care of, and in that juncture, it will be very important that government put on state-owned farms and take good care of these farms. At the end of the day, the harvest that are realized will benefit the Gambians, and perhaps we may come to a time that rice importation will no more and Gambia can feed itself. We believe that Gambia can feed itself, considering the rice fields in CRR and the amount of the amount of fields to be cultivated, considering how fertile they are, and also taking consideration the river Gambia on both sides is fresh water, both CRR and URR. So we have all the chance to be self-food sufficient, but are we taking this advantage? Are we definitely on that course? This is a question for the Minister of Agriculture, and I would like definitely for him to take the right course for food self-sufficiency in the Gambia. At the long run, this can be achieved. The other issue on the area agriculture is the stores, locally magazines. Now you go to the provinces or throughout the Gambia, some of these stores are older than all of us, most of us here. And these stores nowadays are dilapidated. And farmers are complaining to us, because we, the honorable members, we have direct contact with these farmers. So every day and then we go there, they cry on these stores. We really want a help on these stores for the farmers to put in their grains after harvest. Because we all know the waste post-harvest that we are facing. So definitely I will also want the minister to help on that. We come to the health, Ministry of Health. Many of us spoke about community ambulance, which is a laudable initiative, but I was having skeptic or a question in mind on the issue of drivers, on the maintenance, fueling, and so on and so forth. So I would like clarity on this, if you have any document on that, or if there is any policy on that. Definitely we will want it to be shared to NAMS, so that this will help us at our community level. We face many questions like that. Sometimes you are dumbfounded because you cannot bank on any order or any policy or any memorandum of understanding to help you explain better. When it comes to higher education, the Ministry of Higher Education with the project at Farababanta is a big thank you. We really appreciate the work done there. Considering years back, students at the university, myself and my colleagues do suffer a lot, struggling classes here and there, and then no campus, some other lectures on the trees and verandas. So I think that will be a history, and that I have to commend the ministry on that. It comes to information in the e-commerce policy and strategy, cyber security and cyber crimes, data protection, and so on. So these are very important areas for our country. So I believe the minister putting them here will definitely take it as his duty upon him to see that our country move to that area, because today the cyber economy is very important. We do business online, and then even the security issues we cry here. This cyber issue and other things like cameras on the IT can help us. So we have to move to be digitalized. Thank God to the government today. Most of the working place, we have those instruments installed. You come to work, you sign in digital. So it's a plus. I'm seeing the government moving to the right direction because they move into e-government. So cyber crime also is a problem, and I expect that the minister under the information and also the other sister ministry will work hand in glove with the government to see we move to e-governance, and we can also get our criminals through the cameras and the internet and so on and so forth. So this will bring me to our Malawi forum on the African Parliament network of internet governance. We've learned a lot there, and most of their targets are on cybercrime, data protection, affordability, accessibility of the internet, which is very important. One other thing that I learned there that I want to put to my president and my vice president is that the women leadership. I have found that women can do a lot when given responsibility. I would like this government to give chance to the women, and I know definitely they execute their work to the fullest. So in that note, I don't intend to talk much. The other issue is I want to come back to the introductory remark of the president, and this is for the whole Gambians, knowing that we are transforming. Gambia is on transformation. We just lived 22 years of dictatorship. Obviously, have you ever thought after Jammeh, what first 5-10 years, how would it look like? Have you thought after Jammeh, which president are we going to have? Gambians. This was very important. I used to think about it. And thank God today, the kind of president we have is what the government, what the Gambia need. Imagine after 22 years of dictatorial, if you had an other president of different, where would
observation, Honorable Speaker.
Correct. Observe.
Observation is to be directed to the Speaker on the floor.
Honorable
if
Speaker.
He so wishes, he sits down. Otherwise, he will continue.
Okay. Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, you can continue then.
We are not here to talk about Jammeh. Jammeh's regime has already passed. Let us concentrate on what is happening in the government.
Okay, thank you. I think I didn't mention anyone. I said after the 22 years of dictatorship. So now we are on transformation. Please, I'm talking to Gambians. We need to be tolerant. We need to accept it. We need to accept each other. So in that note, let me take my seat.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Nyamina West. I now invite the Honorable Member for Funyi Bintankaranai. Pardon? He's out. The honorable member for Joshua.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Okay. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm giving the floor. I'm giving the floor.
Okay. Honorable member for Fonyi Bintang, you must behave like a responsible person. Please, we are on sessions. Honorable member for Joshua.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'll first join my colleagues to thank the President for, doing his constitutional requirement by coming here and then address the nation. And also saying a very big thank you to his able Vice President, who is also here to deputize for him, and saying Koromak Jokanja. And also welcoming his other ministers that are his lieutenants around here, his technocrats around him. I will start with my Koromak being the Honorable Vice President. During your appointment as the Vice President of this country, you had a retreat with your cabinet. And then during this retreat, every Gambian welcomed the ideas, the words from your retreat, the statement that we are giving during your tenure there. Honorable Vice President, I think it is very important to work on those points raised by you. We are a country. We are one Gambia, and we don't see anything but this country. If you work hand in glove with your ministers, the President will achieve his dreams. But if at all there is a failure from your end, he will also fail. So I think you work together. This is a suggestion also, if possible, because we are always giving mandates as MPs and the head of states. I think we will start appreciating your ministers by tasking them to give you their yearly work program or monthly, quarterly work program, and then you call them to see whether it is achieved during the time that they promise to achieve it. If not, you look at what needs to be done. Coming back to the President's deliberation, I will start with the Ministry of Environment first. The Ministry of Environment. I don't know what the ministry is doing with regards to the Tandi wetland within the Banjul, Josuang, Talinding towards Abuko. We are losing this Tandi wetland because of what? The last time there were floods, people were going down everywhere. Yes, there were floods. What was the cause? We thought it was the rains. For me, I say no. Because I went around my constituency with my people, but I have seen that most of these mangroves within the Tandi wetland are no more there. Why? Because people are cutting them down and using them as residence, building structures in those areas. And if you look at most of these structures, please quote me right, most of them are not Gambians. They will be here, coming, next day they are gone back to their hometown. And we'll be here feeling the pain. I think it is important to make a joint committee within the Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Works, and the Physical Planning, with the local government ministry, to go around these areas and see what is happening there. Today you plant mangroves, next minute you will not find them there. Why? Because people are living around that area. People are building structures around that area, and they are only not building structures, but they are also blocking the waterways. And by blocking these waterways, two things can happen. We cry for fish. Yes, I'm a cereal. We cry for fish that there is no more fish in this country. We attribute it to the foreign people who are coming here. Yes, that is one contributing factor. But if there are no more mangroves, where are we? These are the breeding space for the fish. If you don't have any breeding area, where are they going to breed? And the worst thing of all is, in case there are heavy rains, when there are heavy rains in this country, you connect it with also the high flow of the river coming going back to its normal areas. If these two things comes together, where are we heading to? It's going to be a big disaster then. Because the water has no place to drop, the rainwater has no place to go, and the river also is coming back to join. Then that disaster will be more than what we have observed during these past days. So let these two ministries come together and work and then see what is possible. Go around and see what is happening, because if not, it's going to be a problem. Coming to the Ministry of Health, the last time I saw a press release talking about this paracetamol issue, paracetamol syrup, that there's a ban on this paracetamol syrup. Why was the ban? Because it is very harmful, according to what I heard, that to the extent of it might even bring kidney issues with regards to the young ones that we are having in this country. Honorable Minister, I think it is important we look at the medicine coming into this country. What can we do to control, or even have a lab where we can test this medication coming into this country to qualify that they are fit to be used? Because there are many pharmacies in this country. We call them cheap pharmacies, cheap ones. Because the medication that they sell, most of these people within the KMC, I won't name the name of the pharmacy, but if you go there, currently they are queuing. If you ask them, they say the Fayomba. Is it cheap because it's giving the quality? Is it cheap because of what? Should it be consumed by the people? Because if you are sick, they prescribe a medicine for you. What are you expecting? To be cured. But if you go there and take the wrong medication, then next minute, instead of curing yourself, you end up doing what? Preparing yourself to go where? To this Jola compound. So I think it's important, Honorable Minister, we control the medicine coming into this country, and then see how best we can have a lab testing area where this medication can be tested and be qualified. If they are passed and qualified, then we can allow our people to use it. Coming to the Minister of Education, yes, we talk about bad results. I think it's important we go look at the system. What is the problem? And where is the problem? For me, I'm not talking to government alone. It is collective, including myself as a parent and government as the one who is there to control and guide. Are we controlling our kids? Are we training our kids? That's a question to all of us. Coming back to the ministry, we have a lot of schools in this country. There is no more a failed student. Every student always pass your exams. If you have aggregate 54, maybe Honorable Billy Kamara has already opened a new school. He only take aggregate 54. Admit you in his school. What next? Only looking for the money you pay into him. Not about the quality that your child requires. There used to be a time, during our time, there were cut-off marks in this country. People struggle. We have few schools in this country, few high schools in this country, but you always have good students. Even the one attending secondary schools were excellent students. So I think we have to look at the educational system and see how best we can improve on the system. Whether we are going to bring back the whole system, or we see how best we can improve on those areas. It's going to be very, very important. Coming to the defense and security of this country, we always try to blame them. One of my MPs made mention of the crime rate in this country, a lot of killings. Yes, why and what is the cause of this? Why is this happening? It's a big question. Our young ones are killing innocent people. young ones, within the age of 15 to 20. Anytime you hear murder, it is in that category. Why? Because of what they are using. The drugs they are using. During our time, they call it D5, but it's no more D5, I think it's D25 now. A young boy at the age of 15 years, taking this kind of tablets, where are you? You are nowhere. You'll be unconscious, and you can kill any minute. Because there is nothing controlling you, there is nothing trying to tell you what you are doing is wrong. Because you are no more a human being. And there are certain drugs that they are using in this country. I think we have to start controlling. Because they will do everything to become drunk. They will do everything to go out and get money from people. We are no more secure. That's true. We are no more secure. But we have to help the security. If I have my boy child in the house, he goes out late at night and comes late at night. For me, I'll be sleeping. I don't care about him. Next minute, if he kills, I start complaining. Let's control our kids in the house, and then government take its course. But I think it's important we start controlling the drugs coming into this country, and then look at what they are using, coming from where. I even heard that some of them are even using this Pampers, these kids' Pampers, boil it and drink it, and become drunk. These Pampers, some are using it as drug. They boil it and drink it and become drunk. So there are many means of these young boys using it, even at school level. You will see them inside the school. You cannot understand. I think there must be control. We should work together as a team and try to rescue this country. If not, you or me will fall into that trap. And Minister of Justice, I have a question that also clicked in my head, and I think I need a help. Whether you have to bring it in the house here for us to take it as a bill, or we change that law. A fuller man will come to my compound and attempt to kill me with his knife. I was looking to overpower him and accidentally I kill him. Then I'm called a murderer, sent to mile 2. Because I killed. And if I was not able to protect myself, it would have killed me. I've been the breadwinner of my family. Nowhere to be seen. And the guy is walking in the streets. So I think we have to look at those laws properly. Somebody comes to your compound to attempt to kill you, and you were able to overcome him, and unfortunately enough, you were able to kill him. Then instead of taking the guy to mile 2 and then give him another problem again, it's going to be a difficult thing. Still on the defense. The prisons, as the Interior Minister, let's look at the condition of our prisons. Yes, they are criminals. Yes, some are innocent and they are there. Yes, some are guilty and they are there. But I think the condition that they are living needs to be looked at properly. It needs to be looked at properly. Because if at all they are not well taken care of, what are we telling them? The trauma from the prison, if they are out, they will never change. I think we must try to look at the prison well, the way they live, even their toilets. Can you just understand? The toilet facilities are very poor. Even if you come to their budget for the prisons, I think the last time it was about $1 million, almost $60 million or $50 million per se. That was for all the prisons in these countries. $60 million. They want to feed themselves. They have food, and everything comes from there. This is why during the TRRC, you had that full porridge that as they normally eat. I think it's important we look at these prisons, the way people are living there, and how best we can improve the prison service to make sure that they are well taken care of.
Sorry, point of correction, Honorable Speaker. Yeah, Bede's observation, sure, just wanted to, yeah. Yeah, I just want him to withdraw a certain word that if you look at the prison, some are guilty and some are innocent. You said that some are innocent and they are there, that is serious. Yeah.
No, while the word innocent, somebody might be accused. Why he's not, he's not guilty of his crime. So he's an innocent person. You might send somebody to jail because of, you are not even sure what you are doing. So this is what I'm saying. They are innocent of the crime, but they were charged guilty. But currently they are innocent. Thank you very much. Coming to the agricultural sector of it, I think we have young Gambians who are trying to venture into poultry, trying to work hard to forget about this back way issue. They started and they were being helped by international organizations, giving them money, giving them funds to operate. But now it's no more happening. Why? Because they don't have the animal feed to feed those animals. We have a factory in Josman, around Kamalo. The factory is well organized. All the equipments are there, but it's not operating. Why? Why is the factory not operating? Who owns that factory? Is it government or an individual? Then get that person and try to make that place operate, so that we can no more go to Senegal and buy those materials. It's better we stay here in the Gambia and do it. But the factory has been there for years, and next minute the country is losing. Because the land belongs to the government, so let's look at the agreement that was made between the government and that individual. Because it was a government land. I can remember when I was a councillor, that land was used by my people, but they came to say government needs it. So let government look into those things and then try to bring up that factory to be into operations. It will help the government people. Ministry of Works. During the president's statement, there are a lot of money being pumped in that ministry. Honorable Minister, I think in this country, we are very competent young Gambians.
Honorable Member, address the Speaker.
Okay, Honorable Speaker, sorry. Honorable Speaker, I think there are very young Gambians in this country who have their companies per se, and I think they can do a lot when they team up with the foreign companies. But foreign companies will come to this country, whether it is aid or grant, build and go. They will give us the grant or they will give us the loan and go back with the money. They will come with the knowledge. They will come with the equipments. When they are going back, they go back with everything. The lake was empty. Honorable Speaker, what can we do as a government? Yes, we are not saying no to them, but when they come here, we need that knowledge from them. One, we need those equipments also to be maintained by the country. From here, we can build the capacity of our local contractors and our local people. It's very important. There is concern going within Carnifing. The road concern in Carnifing is coming to 8 months now. I think it's still less than 1%. What is the problem? We don't know. And we need to know why it is still a problem. Why there is still no work within that area. And I think it's lot 1 and 2. Nothing is happening. Why? We need to know. And these are, most of them are concrete pavements. They can be done by Gambians. Most of them are concrete pavements. They can be done by Gambians. And if I thought it was given to a Gambian contractor, with this delay and next minute, we terminate or we charge you liquidated damages. Why it's not happening? We need to know why. Let them expedite the process, because people are there and they are suffering. All these roads are blocked. Nobody has access to where you want to go, so let them look at it properly. Ministry of Finance. Honorable Speaker, I think, as some of my colleagues have mentioned, that this country will depend on tax and revenue. It's very important we control our revenue. It's very important we bring in measures that can tighten our revenue. Yes, they collect, but after collections, what next? Are they collecting what they are supposed to collect? Or after collecting what they are supposed to collect, is it going at the right place? That's a big question. Coming to the GRA and the Gambia Port Authority. Honorable Speaker, our ports, I call it's dying out. Because the containers coming in this country are now less than as before. Most of these people are now going via where? Senegal. Senegal, Karang to the Gambia. Or Senegal, Farafenye to Casamas. And the other thing also, they are also building on other ports in Funjun. And if this port is ready, with the one they are proposing in Ziganshore, where are we as a country? Then the best thing is we look at our tariff. Look at our tariff and come down with our tariff and compete within the regions that we are living as borders. Let's compete with them by bringing our tariff down. It's better we collect more, allow people to come on board, allow young Gambians to be employed within the industry, than allowing everything to be going out of the Gambia. I think this place needs to be looked at critically. Because to be honest, we need to expand the port. I don't know how far the expansion is going, but I think the port expansion needs to be fast-tracked. By fast-tracking the port expansion, we'll be expecting more vessels. And when we're expecting more vessels, by bringing our tariff down, I think it will definitely boost our revenue. But if not, we'll be collecting, and we don't know what we are collecting. So it's important that we put in some mechanism in place, have a study to send your people to go around and see what is happening. Because people are complaining that our ports are too expensive. Why are they expensive? We have to look at it properly and come with a solution. I rest my case, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Joshua. I now invite the Honorable Member for Upper Nyomi.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, let me first of all recognize the presence of the Vice President and other cabinet ministers here present. Honorable Minister, I think I won't take long, simply because many of the honorable members have deliberated many of the key issues. But let me first of all thank the President for fulfilling his cardinal constitutional requirement that's coming to this assembly to address the members and the nation about the government policies and programs and the challenges of his government. We are really appreciative of what he has done. Honorable Minister, Honorable Speaker, from the President's speech, he has deliberated on agriculture, where he has said that last year that there was an increase from the harvest of many of the major field crops, like groundnut, paddy rice, sesame, and other crops. But this was due to the accessibility and affordability of fertilizer. Last year, the fertilizer was $700 per 50 kg, and seeds were supply free. Small farm implements like sign hose, seeders were supplied to farmers with animals like donkeys, horses. That was the reason why the bumper harvest was registered last year. But this year, Honorable Speaker, our farmers find it very, very difficult to purchase fertilizer because of the price. It's just so expensive. I think the ministry and the government have to work on that. Nonetheless, we have to thank the ministry for their effort, for what they have done last year. Though this year also they have tried by subsidizing the fertilizer for the farmers to get it at $2,000. Honorable Speaker, as it was said by some of the previous speakers, there's 8 ongoing agricultural projects right now at a tune of $294.13 million US. When you change this money to Gambian dollars, Honorable Speaker, you're talking of $10 billion. Honorable Speaker, what are the experts in agriculture doing to rescue this country from starvation? To, accelerate our drive towards food security. When we went on tour, there were successes which we are registered, we found it on the field, but there were failures of the projects. Because these projects, some of them are given to the Gambian contractors, and they don't have the capacity to implement or to execute this contract to the fullest. And that's why the contracts are failing. The projects are failing at the field level. Why do you have to take government money for granted and give it to a contractor which doesn't have the capacity to implement that particular project? What's the essence? What interest do you have in that as a coordinator or as a procurement officer in that project? I think we have to change our attitude. Government and Gambian people are losing a lot of money when you come in terms of procurement. That's what I call undetectable corruption. Because these are things you cannot see. They are very inconspicuous. You cannot see. When this is supposed to cost you $100, somebody sitting down there, connect with somebody outside and make it $150. It's undetectable because the paper is clear. When the auditors come, they will say, right. Honorable members come for the oversight function, correct. But there's something fishy behind. You don't know. We have to change it. We have to change. That's not good. And that's the reason why, Honorable Speaker, a lot of projects are failing. Because at the end of the day, what happens is, if the contractor fails to deliver, you as a project coordinator or whatsoever you may call yourself in that particular place, you cannot force him to deliver because there's something that choke on your throat. And that's the fact. So we have to change our attitude. Honorable Speaker, I will go straight to the Minister of Works. There is an ongoing project in my constituency which was said by the President. That's the Hakala Road. And there's a lot of murmuring around. The project is not going as we wish with the people of Opanyong. Though I've made a lot of follow-ups. But whatever may be the problem, I am appealing to the Ministry of Works. Let them do everything possible as soon as possible to resolve it. Because that's not the interest of the people of Opanyong. We want to see that road being completed so that we can enjoy our tourism, we can enjoy our agriculture. Nonetheless, we have to thank the government for bringing the project to us. Honorable Speaker, I will just go straight to the tourism. Why the President said in page 26, number 3, turning to the culture subsector, if we may allow me, Honorable Speaker, to read in verbatim, because there's something I want to say.
reference.
Yes, I'll make reference, indeed. That's what I'm doing exactly. Turning to the cultural subsector in April of this year, the National Center for Page 26 of Swana. 26. 3. Yes. Turning to the culture and subsector in April of this year, the National Center for Arts and Culture embarked on a multi-million dollars project geared towards strengthening national capacity for safeguarding intangible cultural heritages. I will stop there, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Upper Nyomi is the most famous constituency in the Gambia. I've been saying this here over and over. And I have my reasons why. We have James Island, now we call it Kunta Kinte Island. It's in Upper Nyomi. Honorable members, if you don't know it from today. And Kunta Kinte hails from Upper Nyomi, the most famous man almost in Gambia and Africa somehow. And that's the reason why in safeguarding these historical heritages, Upper Nyomi played an integral part. Because this James Island or Kunta Kinte Island I'm talking about, Honorable Speaker, is getting eroded by the river every day. The jetty that's supposed to land and access the island is dilapidating. Even the local jetty that is there to get into the island is not in good condition. And the Minister of Tourism is having this multi-million dollars project to preserve these heritages. What are they doing to preserve this important structure of the Gambia, important resource of this country, which is in danger today? Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I don't think I can take much of your time, but like I can still go back to the President's speech under the Minister of Health, where the President tells about the important service these community ambulances are rendering to the communities. That cannot be overemphasized, because these are situated in one of the two key areas of Upper Nyomi 3, that is Pakawinjoku and Pascali. And one is being given to also replace the ambulance at Nemakun. Honorable Speaker, this has really reduces the problems and the complications our people have been facing for the past 50 years. So we have to thank the President and the Minister and his entire team for what they have done for us. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Upper Nyomi. I now invite the Honorable Member for Banjul North.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. But before I dwell into what I want to say, I will first of all say, because a member asked whether the Gambian youth are willing to work. Yes, they are, to be honest. And why I say that is because we believe we are the citadels of the nation, we are the cream of the society, and we are the current and the future leaders of this country. In saying that, I will start by thanking the President of the Republic of the Gambia for his marathon speech, and also understanding that the National Assembly is the apex authority that is given the powers by the Constitution to exercise oversight function over all government institutions, including the office of the President. And this is exactly what he has manifested by fulfilling one of his constitutional requirements. Honorable Speaker, I would just want all parliamentarians to understand that the sense of purpose is much more important than the sense of identity. That is the service. And this is what we really have to understand. And in doing so, my submission will be centered into 3 thematic areas, even though there were a lot of things that were mentioned or informed to us by the President during his speech. Honorable Speaker, if you allow me, I will just make reference to page 37 of the SUNA, which talks about transport, works, and infrastructure. Number 4, that is point 4, page 37, number 4. And I can read. In the capital city of Banjul, the government rolled out the Banjul City Rehabilitation Project to reconstruct the city's dilapidated roads, sewage and drains using local funds. Relentless efforts will continue to modernize Banjul. I think this is clear, but I can say it's not enough. We expect more as city dwellers. Why I am saying this? I am very much interested when it comes to the impact of the project, which will always be one of the most fundamental elements when it comes to the sustainability of this project. And we have seen what have happened during the recent flash flood in the city of Banjul, which we also believe it is one of the facets that contributed towards the flash flood that happened in the city of Banjul. So in that regards, our expectation was for the President, understanding that it is a local fund that we are using for the people to have more clear information about this project. Because I can tell you for real, this is the most talked about project in this country, even though we have the OIC project and other projects that are going on. But why the Banjul Rehabilitation Project? Because there are things that are hidden and there are things that needs to be clarified, and we, the people of Banjul, are requesting for those clarifications. In saying so, I will now want to talk about the health issues that the President shared with us. Honorable Speaker, if you allow me, this is on page 16.5, which says, government's introduction of community ambulance services, following the distribution of 80 new ambulances in areas within or without health facilities, is widely applauded in the country. Honorable Speaker, I can tell you that we, the people of Banjul, don't see ourselves in this. And a clear manifestation is during the process of the flash flood, when we created a display center, where we accommodated almost 315 people, more than 68 families, including women, children, and men. And when I say women, I mean pregnant women. I personally went to the Ministry of Health and spoke to the PS concerning for them to provide us with an ambulance, which never happened. And I can tell you, one of the things that we encountered during the process, a woman almost delivered in my private car, which is undone. Because of what? There was no ambulance provided by the Ministry of Health during that time.
Observation, please, Speaker.
Just allow me to go on if it is an observation, please. The third thematic area have to do with the Ministry of Lands, Local Government, and Religious Affairs, which I am very much interested in. As a former worker, as a public servant who's worked with the Banjul City Council, understanding some of the constraints that the City Council is currently going on, and I also believe other councils in this country. But I'll be more specific, more particularly when it comes to the usage of land, that is the proper usage of land practiced in the city of Banjul. We have all seen what happened in Banjul during the flash flood. We have seen how the Talbi wetland is being butchered, turned to another form, which for us, the people of Banjul, don't really appreciate, and we will never appreciate. And we are expecting for government to come up with strategies in terms of making sure that that situation is remedied, because it is one of the factors that we realize that it caused the flash flood. But going further, the construction of stores in the city of Banjul is another problem. What is the Ministry of Local Government and Lands doing through physical planning and land and survey in terms of making sure that they put regulations in terms of whoever want to construct, and also to make the people of Banjul understand the zoning of the city, more particularly when it comes to the residential and the commercial area of the city, which is indeed very important. Because to tell you the truth, the amount of stores that are erected in the city currently is turning the city to become a ghost city, because people are forced to go to the combos instead, because they don't have anywhere to reside as far as the city of Banjul is concerned. And this is to the disadvantage of the people. So this is indeed a very big concern that I saw, and I believe it is important to be included as far as such an important speech is concerned, because like I always say, success will always happen if our dreams are bigger than our excuses. And that is the level we are as parliamentarians. And Honorable Speaker, if you don't mind, I will just quote from what you once said to us during a committee meeting. And I want to make it very clear here. If the president and the executive fail, it is us parliamentarians who fail. This we have to understand. And in doing so, we must try by all means to make sure that we work together internally and also work with the executive and make sure that we move this country forward. In that regard, I submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Banjul North. I now invite the Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang Karanai. I think he's around this time.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I will say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin, that I have lived to witness a day like today. I will first start with education, as the President clearly states that they are registering great success in the sides of education. Time and again, Honorable Speaker, I wonder what type of success are they talking about, especially when you look at the issue with the Ministry of Higher Education, specifically at the Gambia College. We change a government to better the situation, but not to worsen the situation. Then, as tradition has always been, usually there was no payment for the Gambia College, but students started paying the Gambia College in 2017. The payment started with $7,000. With the passage of time, now, if you are to do advanced diploma secondary, you are asked to pay $13,000. And $13,000 is for the poor Gambian farmer, for the poor Gambian fisherman. It's a difficult thing that we need to think of. Some of the students that wants to go to GTTI face the same struggle. Others that have admission at the university also face the same struggle. Now, in your own country, you could not have access to education. It is very painful indeed as a nation. What I definitely want to say is, I want everything that the nation or the president is going to tell us, let it be realistic in all the senses. The Gambians' hope were high that the education system will be better, but that is not what we are seeing, regardless of whatever is said here. Some of the students, after graduating from the Gambia College, both diploma and advanced diploma, will not have any place to be posted to. And the schools, some of the schools are without teachers. So I am definitely wondering what type of success did you register in the sides of education. We have also seen time and again, the teachers have suffered greatly indeed. How do you better their life? You are building classrooms, you are building quarters, but if teachers are not well paid, how can they perform better? Most of the government sectors or departments are receiving clothing allowance, but the teachers are not receiving clothing allowance. Can we think of way forward? Honorable Minister or Honorable Speaker, in the sides of education, during the conflict in the Furnace, the President clearly states that there was a patrol team that was set to patrol around the conflicting area. But after the conflict, because the patrol team never secured the people of Foni, but then after the conflict, the children were not going to school, or most of the students were not going to school. And they were not compensated for the lost hours. I channeled it to the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, but nothing was done about it.
A point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Can we hear the point of order, Honorable Member?
I'm still insisting to rise on point of order 30, that members should really do favor for this assembly to debate on this matter before us. It reads, debate upon any motion or amendment to a motion shall be relevant hereto, except in the case of motion of adjournment debate. Constituency issues are relevant, but you have a platform to say those things. Let's really peruse through the policy and program of government present to us and add value to it and critique. Thank you.
Honorable members, I think this is almost the third time running. Honorable members, when we started, I did caution that we try as much as possible to abide by our own standing orders that govern our operations here. So, honorable member, please note that and confine yourself to the speech of the President.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Speaker. Still with the speech of the President on the side of education, I am referring to. It is important that people receive equal opportunities in the nation. And I believe His Excellency, the Vice President, is here to clarify certain concerns that will be raised here. So this is why this was brought on board. Coming to the side of defense and security, the government or the President clearly addressed the National Assembly that they have received success. But I wonder which type of success did they receive when we still have foreign soldiers in our land? What is the government prepared to do about these foreign soldiers that are, should I say, colonizing us? Or what should we say? What mechanism did the government want to put in place to bring up our armed forces to take care of their full responsibility? because this cannot continue. And I want to ask the Vice President to tell us, what is the Gambia doing? What are they spending on these foreign soldiers that are stationed here in the Gambia? Is the Gambia contributing anything towards it or not? Is that the reason as to why we are running into this funny economic situation? Or we definitely want to know. And in addition to that, we also want to know why most of the time our Gambian soldiers are not put at the forefront, but instead we have Senegalese soldiers all over. Going down to the Ministry of Agriculture, I think in all the ministries, they registered success but no challenges. In the Ministry of Agriculture, they told us that they registered success. Without food self-sufficiency, I can't say it is success. Where a ministry is stationed in Banjul, which farm is in Banjul? Under normal circumstance, if we are interested in attaining food self-sufficiency, because on this issue, I can also give my suggestion. So let nobody call me to a point of order for distraction purpose, please. Under normal circumstance, if the nation is truly serious, if the government is truly serious in developing agriculture or attaining food self-sufficiency, they should have transferred the Ministry of Agriculture from Banjul to Jahalipata, from the story building to the rice field. Then we will definitely believe that they are in for national development, or they are in to attain food self-sufficiency. Let the minister himself be there and all the technocrats. But how do you want to develop this nation like this? It's practically an impossibility. When it comes to the side of health, the major challenge that the Gambia is faced with today is the health sector. The health sector continues to cry day in, day out. Go to Ndemban Clinic. Most of the time, people will be there without treatment. I confirm it myself. For 3 to 4 days without having the type of, especially if they want to go in for certain surgery, it's always very difficult. And I believe His Excellency, the Vice President, and others are all here, and they should take note of this seriously. When we go down to electric supply, most of the places in the country, we are in the 21st century. Yes, yet there are many areas that are not having electric supply in this country. How is the government prepared to come down to our aid and support our people with electric supply? We still move on. Continue to mourn for the Queen. We are not mourning for our fishermen. We are not mourning for our farmers. We are not mourning for our security men who have struggled day in, day out. In fact, we are not mourning for our ancestors who struggled to liberate us from neo-colonialism. We are not mourning for them. So as a nation, Honorable Speaker, we should be very well prepared to take up the challenge. And as a nation, you should always prefer the young. You cannot have an individual who is there in the First Republic, Second Republic, and Third Republic, and you still telling us that the youth are not ready to take up the challenge. We are ready. And at times, at one point in time, we are humiliated by asking us to behave. As youths as we are ready for the challenge, and we are ready to develop our own nation at all costs. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Funi Bintang Karanai. And it's heartening that youths are willing to take up the challenge. And the duty attached to every right is what is required of you as we prepare to hand over the baton. We now have the Honorable Member for Foni Jarol.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Thank you very much, Honorable Kerr. And I would also thank the President on behalf of the Vice President. And I'll begin my deliberation with first commending the Vice President. Is someone, the day he was appointed, the speech he made at the retreat, is someone I believe that he can change the narrative. So I believe, definitely, especially me personally, he owed me a lot because my eyes are on him. And I again commend the Minister of Higher Education. I interacted with him. I have seen the plans and then the thinking or the foresight he has. I also commend that he worked in that direction because this country needs to be saved. After making my commendation, let me start with the first page of the speech. We cannot continue here blaming 22 years of dictatorship. We say that that's the one that is holding our development down, but we forget to mention the other problem, which is ruining our institutions, which is corruption. We never mentioned that one. The 6 years corruption, that millions have disappeared. No one is mentioning that. That's why most of the challenges that we are facing today are as a result of that. We are talking of institutional reforms. Fine. But I think those are just policy reforms because what we write to govern our institutions. But reform must come within ourselves because we are the ones who are going to drive those policies towards achieving our goal. Every institution have what it calls core values. Like the National Assembly, we have to live to either 7 of them, but I'm always familiar with 3. That is professionalism, integrity, and accountability. Leadership is difficult when you make it difficult for yourself because you work through people. And it is through people that we are going to achieve results. This is why I define leadership as L would stand for listen and learn. Are we listening and learning what is happening to our people? I am not here forced to commend anyone because I'm seeking for recognition. Because it's not a force on me to commend someone. But it is all about the Gambia, a country I call home. This is the only place I will call home. I would never undermine the development of this country for any political reason. And I am here to make sure to point out the errors and then point out when it is correct to say thank you. So there are many people who are ready to work to make sure that Gambia moves to a different level, but we cannot continue 22 years of the change in Gambia was not through a barrel of gun. It was through what you people call democracy. Is that democracy that we are calling today? Are we enjoying? There are people saying in the street, it's better for them to go back to that dictatorship than living in this democratic situation. Where people are killed every day, where people are stabbed every day, where people are going to bed hungry, where our youths are deported, where our youths are leaving schools without jobs. And then you are calling it still is the problem of the dictatorship. When people are going hungry, then we are not ready to fix the problems of this country. If you are not ready to face the challenge, why not we just resign so that Barrow takes someone competent enough to take the lead? Because this is a report not prepared by Barrow. This is prepared by the ministers and directors. So this is what we are giving him to read. Barrow is not there to know, so let us not fail Barrow and we continue pointing our problems to Barrow. Barrow is not alone in this. It is the leadership crisis that we have in this country that I continue to mention. Because the other thing because security, for this country to develop, for me there are 3 components: security, education, and agriculture. Let me start with security. Because during our research period, I was going on notice. Some people know me. I visit security places. And then when I go there, I sit, buy attire. Sometimes I drink and see what is happening there. It's very sad. I don't know whether I'll just leave poor, because sometime before leaving, I know how much I give to the police, just empty my pockets, like someone who has something. The complaints coming from our securities, like my fellow honorable member has complained here, house rent at 250. Some of them even struggle fares to go to work. There are conditions. And then again, I'll see someone coming there to complain there is no transport. The whole of West Coast combined with KMC, unless I get it wrong, because I made the investigation, it's only 5 either good vehicles. For us in the Fonies, there is nothing, because the one that is there is just Post Mutaka. I don't know how, if you can just even be, as a security officer, be allowed to board that vehicle that is going to maybe shut down crime. If we push the vehicle, we reach to our enemies, and then the vehicle refuses to be on. I don't know what I'm going to do, whether now to surrender and give myself. Definitely our securities, and there is no development. We will never achieve any meaningful development without considering our securities. It's sometimes even sad. The securities will escort us to workshops, to meetings, give us protection. We'll eat and even forget them. This is something very sad. And these are the people we go to bed, sleep comfortable while they are out there, even Tobaskis. Those occasions, festivals, we derive them, but we don't consider them. It is very sad. We need to look at. If I say, like at the moment, because look at our even state house under foreign occupancy, someone don't like it. It's not politics. Because there's no country in this world where the state house is occupied by foreigners, the foreign security. It is very sad. The money we even spend on the foreign services, if we give it to our security, I believe we will be well protected. Now we are complaining. Every day people are starving and saying human rights. I don't know where we're quoting this human right, where it is coming from, whether Geneva or now Gambia. Because I don't think that's what the Geneva Convention says. Where people starve people and go free, or you go and bail 72 hours, they are gone. The person who died there, people are mourning. That one is okay. I'm just talking because of the problems that we are having here. Already people have mentioned it. Come to education, teachers, what they are facing. You just go there for yourself. I have been visiting schools. I go sit with the teachers and then listen to them. Sometimes people think that I'm the one to solve their problems. And then I'll tell them, no, this is going to be teamwork. We can never make any positive narrative in the country without working together, without living to our core values of organizations. Biggest transparency, accountability, and professionalism. Every institution you add, be it a NAM, a minister, a president, or a vice president, you have to live to those cores. You have to be accountable to what you do daily. You have to ask yourself, what benefits do my people have? That's why I said since day one, I am elected by a party or a group, but I'm here to represent the interests of this country. In fact, what is worse is no longer dictatorship here in this country. What is worse now is corruption, which you cannot employ. It might get something that should make an organization grow. The income, the profits that you make is taken by one person and he disappears, and then that is democracy. Or he goes the next minute, the government lost the case, and then they say it's democracy. I don't understand when the government is losing cases and people are saying that that is now democracy because government lost cases. It means governments are not employing the competent people and putting them in the right places. Leadership, you have to listen and then learn to be able to engage people to achieve development. If as long as this is not happening, you are nowhere. And then you cannot work in isolation. It's a group behind you to make sure that we achieve results. The Gambia, people are crying. Every institution, you know that people are crying. I said it here, that no institution is working. Everything is moving backwards. People are not happy. I said I'm not here to look for any political recognition. I am not here for somebody to say that he's a good guy. Those who know me know who I am already. But what we can do here is see the interest of this country. I have seen in the report there, or in the speak there, that 40% of the remittance come from people living abroad. What is happening to these people at the airport? There is already a project there that, don't quote me wrong, because I'm not aware of it, if it has come to the parliament, whether before, that is collecting 2,000. That's some are saying that the parliament, it did not come to the parliament, so I don't know which is weak. But this is making us lose a lot of businesses because Many people now, even Gambians, go through Senegal just to avoid paying that 2,000. Are we not losing economic benefits here? Look at again the trade policies of this country. I sometimes wonder when we sit here and we start saying we and Senegal, we are one. Yes, we are one, we are not two. We are one. But a driver from Senegal can take over maybe 30 vehicles coming from Senegal. They can come into the Gambia with no disturbances, nothing. They can come in, no one will even charge them anything less than passe. Ask those 30 drivers to go back to Senegal. Even a bag of sugar, even a cup of sugar, they will take it from you. And then still we are promoting we are one. We have already lost our ports to Senegal. And this is a place that can boost the economy of this country. But we are still saying that we and Senegal are one. Why not we are doing that in Senegal, to be one? We lost everything, but all this is compromised because of the so-called dictatorship. That's what makes we are people. That's why we compromise everything to foreigners. It's better for foreigners to rule us than what we call dictatorship. And most people are better off today because of that dictatorship. Today we have schools everywhere because of what you people are calling dictatorship. Security posts everywhere because of what you people are calling dictatorship. That are established. So we have to stop looking at the back.
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
Can we hear the point of order? Honorable member.
Honorable nominated Kewalang Fufana.
Okay.
Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on point of order 30. Debate upon any motion or amendment to a motion or upon any bill, part of a bill or amendment to a bill shall be relevant therefor except in case of a motion for debate on the adjournment of the Assembly. Honorable Speaker, I want to submit that the honorable member is talking out of emotions. The address by the President to the National Assembly did not contain anything about the previous government. So, and when we talk about dictatorship, we are talking about the government of Yaya Jammeh. So I humbly submit that he withdraw that statement. Thank you. I beg to take my seat.
I am sorry that I'm not going to withdraw that statement.
Honorable member. I think this is about the fourth time members are quoting this particular standing order to remind ourselves so that we can confine ourselves to the speech of His Excellency the President. I have said it myself that the President's speech is cross-cutting. Cross-cutting in the sense that it has touched almost all spheres. But let's be specific to those areas that he has touched. When it comes to your adjournment debate, you want to talk about your constituency or what you believe in, you can take that up, please. Let's restrict ourselves to the content of the President's speech as much as we can.
Thank you very much. I don't think I'm deviated. I have deviated because if you look at the speech there, page 4, paragraph is number 3. When you read that, very complex and challenging circumstances inform my address this morning. It portrays the experience of a transformational nation, a nation of peace, living people who stood up to dictatorship in a peaceful manner. So we stood to a dictatorship in a peaceful manner. Maybe it causes a lot of problems. But what I'm also trying to say, there is another problem also that is ruining the institutions. And then this problem is what? Corruption. Is it mentioned here? We don't have to only mention what favors us. We have to mention the core problems of what is holding us as a nation to move forward. This is what I'm just saying. So I'm quoting examples and experience because I said this is well written, and then the country need to move. You need to work as one people. But what is also
honorable member?
Yes, please.
Let's not beat about the bush on this issue. You can go ahead, but confine yourself to the content of the speech by the President. Please.
Sorry, thank you very much. Let me go back to security again. You look at the revised budget, the amount that was approved, and this is for Minister of Interior. We are saying, is it 1,318,313,037 butut? And then, when you look at the Ministry of Interior.
Honorable member, when you are making reference to the speech, you can help honorable members, tell them the page and the paragraph.
I mean the budget speech is in the page, because I just wrote it. I don't bring the book.
Okay, budget speech?
Yeah, the budget speech,
okay,
the amount,
okay.
That's what I'm quoting. Because if you look at maybe the problem that these security institutions are having, like if you look at immigration department, and then you look at fire service and then prisons, we only approve the total figure, but these institutions don't know how much each institution should get. Because some of their complaints maybe they make their request, at the end they will tell them there is no money. When we are fully approved, that's why maybe this year we will look into every institution, how much is budgeted, and then what is prepared for them. We need to improve also agriculture, because like this year already the farming, I'm a farmer. During the recess I was in the village. I cannot even buy fertilizer because of the cost. And then many farmers there are complaining because of the cost. And then some even want to buy, difficult for them even to see where this fertilizer is. So I think we need to do something about it. And then tractors again is a problem. I remember even before becoming a parliamentarian, 2 years back, 2019, the rice fields that I supported in Fonyi Jarol, you go there, I have taken photos of everything, the production that year increased. Because I'm saying that not everything has to be government. We can play our role as individuals, because this is the only country that we call home. I am not here to oppose somebody because I came through the opposition ticket. But I am here to make sure that the Gambia moves from maybe a better state to an excellent state. That's what my interest is. A country where employment, not everybody would be employed, but we have to create jobs through what microfinance projects for our people. Because remember, the deportation is harming our youth. Most people are coming back, adding to those who are graduating from schools. So we need to make sure that do something, be initiative. This is why I said I listened to the speech of the Minister of Higher Education, and I have listened to the Vice President. I am very much impressed. I'm not here to say to please you people, but I am going to rely on you to make sure we change the narrative. The more people are here, the more people are jobless, it's not going to be a good thing for this country. I will say it and repeat that one. The more people are jobless, we will continue experiencing these crimes. People starving people for no reason. People killing people for no reason. I don't know now whether each of us has to be a soldier. Like America, we buy our own guns so that you don't allow criminals to kill you. So we have to look into this properly. We need a better Gambia, not the Gambia that we are today. Let's now stop looking back and look forward. The past 5 years we've been looking back. I think we have learned our experiences there, where we went wrong. And now it's up to us now to correct where we went wrong so that we take Gambia to the right place, to the dreamland. I thank everyone for listening.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Fonyi Jarol. I now invite the Honorable Member for Nyanija. Is he around? Not around. Honorable Member for Ilyasa. Is he around? Okay.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. But first of all, I want to recognize the presence of the Vice President and ministers present here, my colleagues, the honorable members. I want to join my colleagues, the honorable members, to thank His Excellency the President, Adama Barrow, for his speech. Definitely it was a very good one. As I can understand from his speech, there were some improvements in the other departments, and the other departments there are some declines. So far that's normal, because we cannot have everything 100%. I believe that some departments, they have registered tremendous improvement. like education. I was a teacher before, and I know how much we encounter in the education before. It's unlike today. Definitely there is improvement. If you go to some schools today, it is definitely impressive when you look at the structures. Before, classrooms were not enough for students. But definitely today, many classrooms, new classrooms were built all over the Gambia. I think that is an improvement in that sector. If you come to agriculture also, they've registered a tremendous improvement. Tractors were supplied to various regions in the country, and definitely those tractors, the farmers are making best use of those tractors, and they make this sector to improve in our farming. So we have problem in the Gambia. When we say people are not ready to work, it is true, especially youths. It is a problem. Our youths, the majority are very lazy. They don't want to venture into farming. And then, as we all know, farming nowadays is very profitable.
Speaker, point of observation, please.
That if you want to observe the person taking the floor, you look at him. If he sits down, you take the floor. If he does not sit down, he continues.
Honorable, kindly give me the floor, please. I want to observe.
Thank you.
I kindly want to appeal to you that we stop discriminating our young people by referring to them as young assets. Please, it's disheartening. Please, please. And I hope you can withdraw that statement, please.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I don't think I will withdraw my statement, because I'm saying that some, not all of them, not all of them. So obviously I'm not going to withdraw my statement.
That's fine, you can continue, but it's disheartening to also put it to you.
Thank you very much, thank you very much, thank you very much. On the side of interior, there also there's improvement, because I was privileged to visit a barrack, which is Farafenya Army Camp. I had a lengthy discussion with the commander there, and then the problems were numerous. But I had a second visit there. That day I was very happy, because he confessed to me that there was improvement. But the improvement, I can dilate on it. One is vehicle. He told me that the government gave them 2 pickups, and later supplied another trucks, 2. And then pertaining to their shelter also, my first visit, he told me that shelter was a problem there. But my second visit, he was pleased to inform me that that will be a history, because government is building a story building whereby many soldiers will be in the campus. So that area also there is under improvement. So here, I want to seize this opportunity to appeal to my fellow honorable members for us to come together as a team, and that we first see the Gambia as our country, as one people. Our ultimate aim and objective should be to move this country forward, not backward. I think we have a role to play as honorable members. The success of the president, definitely we have a role to play there. The failure of the president is a failure to all of us. The success of the president is a success to all of us. This is why it is important we try and support the president in his development agendas. I'm not saying his political agendas, because there we have different feelings. But as far as his development agenda is concerned, then there we have a vital role to play there. We should support him to make sure that we all succeed. Again, as National Assembly members, our Quran and our Bible is the constitution under our standing order. Let us always try and refer ourselves in anything that we are doing here in this honorable house. In doing that, I think we will succeed, and then we will take the right direction. But without referring ourselves to the Constitution and the standing order, things will always fall apart. So I therefore urge, and then I call on my honorable members to put our hands together to make sure we serve the country to the best of our ability. And we see to it that we serve this country during our tenure in the office. Because if we do better, then that will be good for the country, and it is going to be a legacy for us. So I thank you very much for giving me the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Ileasa. I now give the floor to Honorable Member for Woodley East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. And I will also join my colleagues to thank the President for fulfilling his constitutional mandate to come to this august body to explain to us how his government is running the country. Honorable Speaker, the President said something at page 63. I think that's almost the last page. On bullet point 15, where he is speaking to us in the interest of the nation, that it is imperative that this House walk along bipartisan lines, not to see this House as NPP or as UDP or as DOI, but as a House. We work together to fulfill the people's aspirations and safeguard the honor of those who choose us to represent them. I think that's a very commendable paragraph there. And if we all read that, I think, and we abide by that, we work together as a team, we will achieve something for these 5 years. But I want to make an observation that if the president wants this House to work together by partition, when he is coming here, he should come by partition, not as partition. Because all the icons and all the T-shirts I have seen here are NPP. And there are many. They fill this House top and down. Make all the dancing and all the singing all around this place. That's not
point of order, Honorable Speaker.
That's not by partition.
Point of order,
When you are coming to this House, I'm not giving you.
Point of order. You sit down.
Point of order.
It's a point of order.
Yes.
Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on clause 3030 that honorable member speak on the president's speech, not about the jamboree that took place outside.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable member. Are you ready?
Yes. Member was complaining about the Yaya campaign here and there. I said that is not the speech we are discussing. We are discussing the president's speech, not the Yaya campaign that accompanied the president. Thank you.
I would suggest that you may respond in your own when you're talking. He made reference to a paragraph where the president talked about all of us working together, and he saw it differently. So majority, if you have your floor, you can say your own side.
Yes, I know the majority of the leaders don't want us to talk about that because that's a weak point. But if we want to work together by partisan, that's how it should happen. I think we want to transform this country, and our manners and way of doing things should also begin to transform. I think that will help us. Honorable Speaker, I will want to also say that the President, in his introductory remark, said that because of the complex, challenging circumstances, those circumstances have informed his address, which he said portrays the experience of a transformed nation. That's what he said. Honorable Speaker, I would concur with the President. But what I would not concur is that this country is transformed. This country is far from being transformed. Simply engaging in a change of government does not signify a transformed country. A lot more needs to be done to attain the status of a transformed country. Many people spoke about education. Others speak about enlightenment. These are all issues. Others spoke about attitudinal change. Before we transform a country, ourselves must be transformed. You cannot see the truth and you refuse to accept it, and you call yourself a transformed person. You will not see corruption taking place, and you refuse to accept the corruption, and you start giving excuses. everybody is to blame. How can you blame everybody for the corruption that is taking place in the country? I'm not in a position to steal public funds. Public funds are stolen. And you said, I am responsible. You know, that is not true. So we are not transformed when we do things like that. And we are National Assembly members. We must begin to accept truth when we see it. Honorable Speaker, when you want to transform a country, you need to create a solid base for investment. I've not seen a solid base being created for investment. I've not seen much attracting investment. If you look at the President said, he said remittances are bringing about $777 million within a short period. Our own brothers and sisters are bringing that. But if you look at remittances for the full 5 years, the investment for the whole 5 years, it is not even up to that. So, also, when you want to create a transformed country, Honorable Speaker, you will plan at stages what you need to attain. And even your operational implementation of that plan will also be planned. But you have Vision 2020, you come, another one, but you will not be able to implement. It's just on paper, it will not be implemented. How will you attain transformed country? You cannot attain it. As I said, education and enlightenment. You go to the institution that is responsible for educating and enlightening the citizenry. They have nothing. Go to the budget and see the civic education sector. They have almost nothing. They cannot do anything. Unless it is, election time or something, they move about and do something. Otherwise, they will not be able to do much. So, if we come to finance, Honorable Speaker, you will see that the President himself said it. He said the finance sector will cast light on the underlying challenges and circumstances and the considerations that influence the decisions they take. The finance dictates everything, he says, which I concur. If you don't have it right, all the other things will fall out. So the economy and finance is the most important. And I agree with him totally. We must do everything to ensure that we give the right analysis to the type of financial sector that we are creating so that everything will fall in place. But he went on to say that it is because of COVID-19 pandemic, growth rebounded to 405 in 2021. Okay, let's accept that statistics. He said, although the growth remained below the pre-pandemic levels, it was still significant. However, the slowdown of business activities in 2020 and the third wave of the virus in July 2021 affected the economy's recovery. So instead of 4.5 growth, because of the other pandemic and the third wave and all that, our projection has been reduced to 3.6%. And well, the way I see things going, if we don't mind, it may not be 3.6, it may go down. We may come back again and reduce the projection because we are not taking the right steps. Honorable Speaker, the President said in point 3 on the finance that revenue collection has reduced by 14% against the same period in 2021. And this, in fact, informed the action that we have taken to revise the budget. Somebody is blaming ordinary people for not paying area council tax. This is not about area council tax. This is about other taxes the central government is collecting. Those compound taxes are area council. We are talking about the national budget. So, collecting tax, every effort must be done. SA is tax economy, tax base. Government will not get into any production, any of that. It will be dependent entirely on collecting tax. That's the main one. So we must take that seriously. If you want to pay civil servants, if you want to do anything, you have to take tax. You have to collect tax. So what do we do? What do we put in place to ensure that we collect the tax that is necessary to collect? Honorable Speaker, that's the question I am asking. What plans or mechanisms are put in place for the long-term growth of the economy? What plans? Actually, what plans have they put in place? I hear the President was talking about 2050, to come up with a plan that will transform this country. By 2050, he's talking about a plan that will take us to that. Because otherwise, if we don't plan, and we don't stick to our plan and create the basis for the economy, that means every little thing that comes, our projections will go down. When little pandemic comes from somewhere, it will go. When Ukraine will go down. Anything that comes will go down. We'll continually be in crisis because the world is full of crisis. So we must plan ourselves. We must be ready to create an economy so that the shocks, I'm not speaking to you, I'm speaking to the Speaker. Honorable Speaker, please tell the majority leader to stop disrupting me. I don't do that to you when you speak. All right. So that's what we need to do. Create an economy, plan it in such a way, based on our capacities, to ensure that small things anywhere will not disrupt our economy. But if we are just tax-based, then anything that comes will have to disrupt us. Look at Ukraine, which is there, the other side of the world. And somebody said in Fonyi, his own initiative, producing rice. My people in Wuli have their own initiative, producing rice. I think some of the members went to Sutukova, to the rice field. That is our own initiative. It's now government is coming in there. But since government come there with the Gambia rice value chain project, all the things that are supposed to be done are not done. It's something like 4-year or 5-year project. But then they should give them, how do you call it, a store, which should keep something like 50 tons. They should give them a machine to pull water from the river. They should level the ground for them, the rice field for them, 200 hectares. We ratify it here. But when these people go to those people, instead of telling them this is what we need to give you, they will ask them, what do you need? And the project is there. They should develop the road to the rice field. You went through the road. That road is a village initiative. They should make a better road. But every year you go there, it's like nothing is started. So 5 years, 3, 4 years, 5 years will go, it will phase out, and then they call it a failed project. And the President is very proud that something like 8 projects are going on. 8 projects are going on agriculture. But then all those ones will phase out and they will fail and will bring another 10 projects and nothing will work. Because you just give things to, they said it to you people here. They said when they have a project, they give it the money directly to the ministries. It's like the finance, it's in the Auditor General's report. The finance ministry is not aware of it. I don't know, accountant general is not very much aware. It's directly in the hands of these people. You just go directly, and they don't even want to mention it so that when we come to do budgeting here, it will not affect them. You hear that? It will not affect them, so that we can continue to give them what we give them, irrespective of what grants or projects they have. We need every information that is required when we are making budget, so that we'll be able to budget properly. But if they continue to hide information from us and from the ministers, how can we come and make a better budget for the country? This is what is affecting us. So we have 8 projects, big projects, $294 million. It will go into drain. It will not make much effect. Because once the project phase out, there is no backup. The budget will not support the projects. And when the budget does not support them, the people on the ground, the beneficiaries, in fact, every project they say, 40% goes to the beneficiary and 60% remains with those who are implementing. So they buy very expensive. Yesterday, I think I was going with somebody. Very expensive vehicle. And I know it's a project vehicle. Just plowing between here and that place. Those people hardly go to the beneficiaries. So that's what they buy from project money. So we are just taking loans, giving it to projects, but then they go in the drain, and then the country continues to become more and more indebted. So we need to have a mechanism and a plan as to how to cope that type of corruption in the country. So that the productive base that we require, we need to build, will be built alongside with the tax collection. Because if you just make it tax collection and you don't support any other person or institution or organization to create the productive base, it will not be, because the farmers are poor. Farmers are poor. The type of farming that the world is looking for now to feed a world. Our population, when I was young, the population was 400,000. In fact, it started when I was young, it was something like 200,000. Now, before I leave school, it was 400-something thousand. Now it's 2 million. So it's growing, this small country. But we are not ready to do the production. We are crying because of Ukraine. Gambia is crying. We do not have rice. We do not have this because of Ukraine. We'll continue to do that. Even if Iraq and that place fight, we will say also it's because of Iraq and that place. Honorable Speaker, let's go to bullet point 4 of the of the same page. I believe it's no, of page 8. I think it's 8 where he's talking about yes, I think it's page 8. Page 8. 4, bullet point 4. It said, notwithstanding the challenges, the fourth review of the extended credit facility with the IMF was successfully completed in December 2021. So when you go to IMF for a credit facility, you know, these are very big languages. The vocabulary is big, extended facility. It will not say it is a loan. It will not say it's a grant. It will just say a facility. But it's a loan. And when you say extended facility, credit facility, so we need to understand that. Because we are scrutinizing them. So if we don't know what is extended credit facility, we'll not be able to follow this. Because this is, they have not mentioned any amount there. And it's a loan. How much did the government take from the IMF in this credit facility, extended credit facility, in 2021? We need to know that, but it's not mentioned. But I know in 2017, there was a credit facility which was to the tune of $16.1 million. And I know from 2017, to something like 2019 or 2018, there was another credit facility. So in 2021 also, there is a credit facility. So the credit facility is there. It's like every time you fall into a difficulty, we go to the IMF and we said we need loan because we have difficulties. Mainly, it used to be balance of payment difficulties. But then they will say they will add Ukraine there, and they will say because tax collection is going down. So when they put these things there, then they will convince the IMF to give them this credit facility. And the facility is there. I know in 2017, the facility, what was there for us was something like 18.6%. So they took something like 16.1, but eventually they told the IMF, just give everything to us because we require everything. So everything was given to us. So this credit facility, they say balance of payment difficulty. That means that if Gambia wants to import commodities from outside, but they don't have the foreign exchange. So they took this credit facility to be able to do that, and so on and so forth. In fact, in addition to paying civil service, everything can come into that. But it's mainly the lack of foreign exchange. That's why we go into that. That's the main reason. So if we continue not to plan, but every year we think about, and any time we have difficulty, we can go to the IMF. The IMF is ready to give. Because those people are there for nothing else but to give loans. Their people are employed in that, and they make profit. Because if you are paying them, you will pay them in dollars. So they never lose. So every time you go there, you just give them a flimsy excuse. My country is suffering because of this. There is a drought, water did not come, the rain did not come properly, so they will give you credit facility. And now, our debt, this is how our debt is growing. In addition to our bilateral debts, these are multilateral debts. They are growing. And now they have gone to 80-something billion dollars. That's why the president is saying here that we are going to pay $5.01 billion in 2022. In 2021 was 5.01 billion. And in our budget, it's grown. What we allocated for debt repayment, debt service, is 5.29 billion, if I remember very well. So it's growing. Every year we will take more of our budget, what we should use in our country, we will take it and give it to international lenders to repay debts. That's why when we complain about debt, loans, people should listen. We must come with mechanisms to reduce that debt. Because if we don't, it will continue until it becomes 100% of our budget. What are we going to do? And our statutory obligations are, I will not, okay. Honorable Speaker, I want to move a motion to extend the time to complete my speech. So that tomorrow we will continue. Any second?
Honorable Member, I will give you a chance because at 6 o'clock we will adjourn until tomorrow.
Yeah.
The motion should be moved 30 minutes before 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we've passed that. I have decided here that I will give you a chance. When you finish, we will adjourn until tomorrow we continue.
Okay. Yeah. First try. If you want to cut me down tomorrow, when I come, I can come. There is no such thing like this. Okay, anyway. So, Honorable Speaker, the President also talked about VNR. That's voluntary national relief review. And what he said here, all what I'm going to recommend here is that let us have that document. That's VNR. I will request that we request that from the ministry, the VNR, because what my memory tells me is that the recommendation is for Gambia to do a lot of sensitization you know, and education on how we can develop the social safety nets. Because if you look at how we go about that, you know, it's a concern. So that was the recommendation, but here you say everything went nicely and they commended us. But anyway, if we get the document, it will inform us all the more. Honorable Speaker, let me come out of the... Yes. So, if you go to, I think it's the Foreign Affairs, where I talk about remittances. So remittances are now, according to the President, 40%. Huh? According to the President, who read this? Stop interrupting me, otherwise I will do the same thing to you. He said 40% of $777 million remittances is equal to 40% of the GDP. So now, the remittances have overtaken tourism. It has overtaken agriculture. You understand? Now it looks like, if you look at it very well, it has also overtaken investment. So it is now, remittances are our most important foreign exchange earner in the country. So we should not play it. What plans do we have? Because this is mainly brought here by our Gambian brothers and sisters abroad. So what mechanism have we put in place to consolidate this so that we, at least this one, we don't lose. We lose agriculture, we lose tourism. Let's not lose remittances. What plans, actual plans do we put, mechanisms do we put in place to ensure that those people who are bringing these remittances can also be supported to get into partnerships, etc., so that, you know, they will not just bring their money and then they build their house and then the money is finished and they go back. Because that is the reason why anytime they want to come, it's a problem. Because there is no way to sustain them here. But if we help them to create something for them which can keep them here and can build the economy, then they'll be able to come back. After some years, they'll just come to the country and they'll be able to live in their country. So they will not be living outside for eternity. Honorable Speaker, I'm trying to summarize, because now the time is not there. I've already dealt with the agriculture, because I believe that the projects, the President was talking about $17 million to sustain, even after they have, yes, that's what he was talking, $17 million, which is distributed to, that is the President's office, I believe, when it comes to social safety nets. That is in relation to the VNR. So if you distribute 17 million among, for example, it's an example, I don't know how they have done it, but if you distribute it among 23,000, according to the President, so it means that each person will get 700, if it is equal. So I don't think this information even is necessary to be in the President's SONA address. Because it's so minimal, 17 million divided, given to 23,000 beneficiaries or organizations, whatever. I don't think it's worth putting it in the President's report for the President to read that. Honorable Speaker, when it comes to environment, environment is also a very key area, because if you go to our area, you know, if you read the President's SONA address, it looks like what he said about environment appears too nice. It should not be that nice. Because if you go to the provinces now, they are cutting wood like mad people. It's like there is no law. These people just go into the bush and cut any wood, all the duto, all the keno, everything is going. And soon we will find ourselves into a desert. So we must have a mechanism to reduce the harvest of wood, because it's unscrupulous. And in fact, even those who are supposed to protect the forestry people are conniving with the unscrupulous people to harvest all this wood without restraint. Honorable Speaker, when you come to bullet point 4 on the transport relating to the capital city of Banjul, when you read it, that's transport. I will not take your time because it is saying it is including sewerage. It's not only bituminizing the road, but it's also including sewerage and drainage. But then a simple rain came to Banjul and then everything went into submission. Huh? Well, I call it simple because it's not supposed to happen that way. Huh? One rain. You want to call it big. Okay, one big rain came and then Banjul nearly submerged. That means that sewage is not working. Did this project put into that consideration? And you know, Honorable Speaker, this is a project that did not come here. We have no knowledge of this project. We just hear about rumors. And they say it's a pre-finance contract that they have given to the contractor will finance, and then after he has financed, build the road and everything, we'll come and calculate everything and tell them this is the amount I have spent. And then the government takes the responsibility to pay. I think that type of exercise is not a good practice. I believe that since it is not an external loan, but it's internally, there must be another way of doing that so that we know exactly what is happening. But this parliament was completely, absent from that arrangement. Because it is not a loan. If it is a loan, it will come here. But because it is not a loan, it's not a grant, so it did not come here. So we did not know. But then the arrangement is done behind closed doors. And then the contractor started working. And then even here, we are not informed how much has been spent on that contract. We should have been informed. But we are not informed. It's just say, Banjul, we have, make the roads and all these things, and then we'll continue to beautify Banjul. How much has been spent on that pre-finance contract to beautify Banjul should be known to us. But we will call them, they will tell us how much they have put in. Honorable Speaker, I'm not ready.
And
thank you for your patience.
You promised that you are winding up.
No, I did not say that. I say I'm fast.
You are summarizing, you said.
Honorable Speaker, when you come to youth and sports, a lot of initiative is taking place in the provinces. People are, look, be patient.
Honorable member, may I know one thing? Because it looks like I underestimated you.
You underestimated?
Yeah, because when I was giving
I just started and then you started.
Honorable member, please. When I was giving you chance,
yes.
I worked it up to 6 o'clock. I gave you at 5:30.
Yes.
Believing that within the next 30 minutes, you
just give me 2 minutes, I will finish.
Okay then.
Just 2 minutes. It's just this, they want to disturb the whole situation, but it will not happen. Honorable Speaker, when it comes to youth and sport, we all know how passionate our youths are into sport. I take example of my own village. When youths are themselves contributing to fence their football field and they want a mini stadium, what is there for the Ministry of Youth to support such initiatives? That will be very useful, because if people take such initiatives, we encourage them. They see that the government is not doing it, they're trying to do it for themselves. But at least if they fence the field, government can also come and just put them a very good villa, pavilion, so that when the rains come, it will not disturb the match. I think such initiatives will also help. Also, A lot of talent is in the provinces. I don't know whether it is tough, especially in football. All the youths are engaged in football, and very important talents are there. So how do we scout such talent? What can we do to ensure, because their objective is to play outside, to be able to, help their parents. If you cannot create jobs for them, but if you can create an avenue for them to be able to go somewhere else to, so that they can be seen, they can be noticed, and be able to sign and go. I think that is something that we need to encourage. 1 minute, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, under the Vice President, on bullet point 3, page 31, it said something like they have disbursed $450,000 for rice, oil, sugar, mattresses, and other essential items to support 1,161 Senegalese affected by the Sanyang riot. I don't know if I look at that, and I just make it into monetary terms, and then I divide it into, make the small arithmetic, and then I discover that it is something like, it's like each person will receive $270. $70. Yes. So really we need to look at that. If we are at least helping people who are in disaster, we give them some support, at least that will keep them, at least for a month. But something that will keep you for only 1 day, I don't think is something worth to put in the President's address. Because we will calculate, we will make this small arithmetic. On that note, I thank you, Honorable Speaker, for your patience.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Woolly East. Let me thank honorable members who have contributed and those of you who are yet to contribute for taking time to be with us. Your Excellency, the Vice President and Cabinet Ministers here present, we want to thank you. You've made us proud. You are able to sit all day long to listen to honorable members. Honorable members, be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Tuesday, 28th September 2022. Yeah. Honorable members, as per provisions of Standing Order 13.1, the House stand adjourned until tomorrow, Tuesday, 28th September 2022 at 10 a.m. prompt, when we will continue the debate on the President's address. Thank you very much.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
Assalamu alaikum. Askani Adina, askani Gambia, askani diaspora. Xam nga bu ma nee askani Gambia Adina sax wax naa yëpp ba pare nan lañ rek leen doon toggal hankañ ñor na waaw the plus xam ngeen ne yéegi ngeen a dégg the plus in skincare plus is already here finally egsi na hankañ suñ plus bi egsi na moo nekk ni ñu ngi lañ ko amal fii ci diggi Manjai highway Manjai Kotu highway fa lañ ibbi di plus mooy lan mooy the extras in skincare plus suñ cuuraa gerte yi suñ araw yi suñ mbaxal yi suñ jën yi suñ suulaale yi suñ nokkas yi hankañ indil lañ leen ko fii ci diggi Manjai ne ko fii comme ni ma ko day waxee rek ne ko fii fara caach hankañ waa diaspora bi xam ngeen ne ci noppal ren rek lañ nekk boo tukkee ñëw Gambia fii you can party all that you want we got you waaw boo toogee ba dernier moment pare pour dem daago rek ñëw di plus bu ko defee ñu packagé la li nga bëgg yëpp muy araw muy cuuraay gerte muy suñ mbaxali Saalum boobee suñ kereng kiisoo bi yooyu noonu yëpp amal nañ leen ko fii waa Gambia tamit nag xam nga rek the working women we want to make life easy for you our mbaxal is pre-made baxal sa maalo rek even bachelor si sax boo amee rek sa rice cooker baxal sa maalo rek teg sa mbaxal rek ahankay mbaxali Saalum laa wax de ahankay Charles fa lay waxee bu loolu passé amal nañ leen nag suñ own freezing system fu mu nekk nii suñ freezer bee nekk nii dañ laa jaay ba pare bu la neexee ñu freezer la ahankay paquetel la emuñ foofu rek sax boo bëggee ñu wéyal la yëpp yóbbul la ko ba airport waaye yéen lii ngeen ne lan xanaa lan comme ni ma ko dee waxee rek xanaa neex waaw suma partenaires yi rek ñoo nekk ni ki mooy Aïda boo lañ fi ñëwee boo lañ ma fi fekkutee ndegam manque di jaabante rek mun ngeen fee fekk Aïda mbaate mun ngeen fee fekk it rakki Aïda kenn ki mooy caat moo ngi nii waaw suñ plus gaa ngi nii fii nii waaw suñ fii mooy area bi nga xamante ni fa la ñoo defaree packagé suñ araw yeeg suñ all those kind of stuff moo nekk ni ñu ngi ci préparation nag pare ngoñ we not quite ready but we almost there loolu bu passé we have another work area fii na am meat cutting unit fish and meat cutting unit nga xam ne boo indi sa jën bugg ñu dogal la ko in lions nice pieces machine boobu dina nekkee fii nga xam ne nañ leen bugg di dogal ñaari raxasookaay nag lañ am this is one work area and that one is another work area parce que comme ni ngeen ko mus di xamee rek lépp loo xam ne luy dugg ci biir la dama make sure ne defar naa ko ci anam bu aw yoon nag parce que comme niñ ko lay waxee rek biir nag dafa lëndëm nag lu faa war a dugga war nañoo xam exactly naka la fa taajoo waaw suñ freezing unit bi nag xaaral nag ma boole si sax lan